Hey, welcome, welcome. I'm back with Scott Kelby's textbook, the Adobe Photoshop CC book for digital photographers, the 2014 release. And we are working on page 156, chapter 5, working on black and white imagery. This time we're going to create a duotone, and I do create duotones on a fairly regular basis, but I've typically done it in Photoshop. So let's see how Scott does this for us in Camera Raw. So I'm going to again do a control click or right click on the image, and I'm going to open it in Camera Raw. This is a ding actually, so I could have done it the other way. And he indicates that this is the best and fastest duotone technique he's ever used. It's the only one he uses in his own workflow. He used to do a more complicated version, but was shown this by a buddy of his, and easy and works like a charm. So we are again on page 156. We're going to convert our color image to black and white by clicking on the HSL grayscale icon. You go in the 1, 2, 3, 4th icon in. Going to click on that, and then we are going to turn on the Convert to Grayscale checkbox at the top of the panel. And then he says go back to page 146 for his favorite method for converting to black and white. We've already done that, but before converting it, he decreased the exposure, highlights, and shadows, increased the contrast, whites and blacks, and added some clarity, which I did not do. Now I can, though. I just did a Command Z, and if you decrease the exposure, okay, so I backed out, and I'm now at the screen where I can decrease the exposure. Ooh, that's too. I don't know about that, but I kind of like it where it was. Highlights and shadows. Increase the contrast, the whites and the blacks, and you'll see what those were. And then added some clarity. And again, he's done that all in the basic panel before going into the Convert to Grayscale checkbox, or into the HSL grayscale icon at the top, which is right here. Now we're going to click on the split toning icon at the top of the panel. That's the one right next door. And we are going to, in the shadows section, we are going to increase the saturation amount to 25. It's already there. Now we're going to drag the shadows hue slider until you have a nice sepia tone hue, which we have a pretty nice one right there actually. And he says he generally uses around 28, mine is at 29. And if you think it's too intense, lower the saturation and you're done. That's right, completely ignore the highlights controls altogether and you'll love the results you get. Ignore the powerful pull of the highlight sliders. I know you feel on some level that they make things better, but you are already holding the magical key to great duotones. Don't blow up, according to Mr. Kelby. That's it. That's the whole ball of wax. Try printing one of these and you'll see what I mean. Duotone. And he said to stay away from the highlights sliders. Okay, there you go. We are done. And the remaining exercises in Chapter 5, there's only a couple. There is the quad toning for richer black and whites, and then creating your own presets. And I'm not going to have you do the last page before the Photoshop killer tips that involves a download of a software or a filter, actually. And I'm not going to have you do that. Just these next two exercises, and then we're done with Chapter 5. Great having you with me, and I will see you a little bit later with Chapter 6.